Hello ladies and gentlemen, in today's video I'll share with you top 10 PowerPoint hacks that will help you to improve your PowerPoint presentations. 10 amazing tips are waiting for you, so let's get started.
That's good.
Before we jump into the action, I want to say huge thanks to DataCamp for sponsoring today's video and supporting OneSkill channel. DataCamp is the smartest way to learn data science online. Understanding and analyzing data is critical no matter what industry you're in. You can acquire new skills fast with more than 300 courses from over 250 instructors. The lessons are bite-sized and can fit into your schedule. DataCamp mobile version also allows you to learn from anywhere. And recently I have enrolled in the Power BI course. Power BI is a tool that helps you to visualize data, and as a presentation designer I'm always looking for new ways to improve, and learning how to visualize data is really important. So DataCamp subscription starts at only $25 a month for unlimited access to their courses. So definitely check out DataCamp, click the link in the video description to sign up and get free access to the first chapter of any course. The more sign-ups on DataCamp, the more PowerPoint videos on OneSkill channel. By the way, today's tutorial slides are free to download thanks to DataCamp. Link is in the video description. And now let's continue with the video. Alright, so tip number 1 is all about fonts. If you want to quickly improve the look of your slides, all you have to do is choose a new good-looking font. In this case, I'm using the usual Calibri, which looks pretty simple. And here on the second slide, I have chosen a couple of different fonts, and instantly the feel and look of this slide is much more different. So let me close out the slideshow and let me show you the exact fonts that I was using in this slide. So here in the first slide, I was using Calibri font for all of these 3 text boxes, nothing special. And here in the second slide, I'm using Foundry font pack for the first text box, Montserrat for the second text box. And you can always play with the letter spacing options. With the letter spacing options, you can achieve different looks, and that's really awesome. And for the last text box, I'm using Foundry font pack as well, but different font size. So you can play with different font sizes as well. So let's check out the difference of these 2 slides once again. Alright, so here is the Calibri font, and right here we are using the Foundry pack fonts. They are looking much more interesting, and by the way, if you'd like to learn the Ken Burns effect, here's the link. And here are a couple of font pairing ideas to help you find the right fonts for your slide design. By the way, all of these fonts are free, link is in the video description. Most of them you can find on fontsquirrel.com. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to tip number 2, and that is transitions. As you can see, we have slide number 1, and here is slide number 2, and there's no transition between these 2 slides. As you can see, we're just jumping back and forth. And if you like to add some transitions, just select your slide, go to transitions, and here you get a bunch of options. So let's just choose a subtle fade transition, and let's check out the result. Slide number 1, slide number 2. And we can even increase the duration of the slide transition. So we can try something like 2 seconds. Now, as you can see, the slide transition is much more subtle. So this is tip number 2 on how to quickly improve the look of your slide design. And as you can see, we have a bunch of options for slide transitions, so feel free to experiment. But usually the more subtle transitions look the best. Alright, animations. So you can present all of the slide content just like that, but let's say you want to present the flexibility, certificates, and maximize in different steps, so you can apply animations to each of these groups of elements. And that's one way to improve your slide design. So let me show you how it's done. So this is the slide without any animations. You can always go to animations and click on animation pane and check if there are any animations. In this slide we have some animations. As you can see, we have 3 groups of elements, of objects, and they have entrance animations applied to them. So let me show you how we can add those animations. So first of all, let's group these 3 sections, or these 3 groups of elements, into groups. Just drag with your mouse, and we can right click and choose group, or we can just go to menu and choose this group button, and this way we can group those objects into groups. So let me quickly group these shapes, because once the elements, once the shapes are grouped, it will be much more easier to group them, to animate them together. Alright, and the selection pane, you can see that now we have 3 groups of objects, and as well we have this slide title and the photo background. Alright, so once you have your groups created, now we can go to animations, animation pane, and now we can select the first group of shapes, and now we can go to entrance animations. So the green animations are the entrance, the yellow ones are the emphasis, and the red ones are exit animations. So let's choose float in animation. Alright, so this is how it looks like. And we can change the direction of the float animation. So we can choose float down animation. Alright, and this is how it looks like. That's awesome. And now we can select this group. We can click on Animation Painter, and this way we can quickly copy the same animation to the rest of the groups. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And as you can see, now we have 3 animations applied to 3 groups, and each of those animations are starting with a click. And you can choose different options, such as after previous, with previous, but let's leave it with a click. Now we click once, we get our first flexibility group. Now we get certificates, and now we get maximize. So that's tip number 3 on how to improve your slides. By the way, if you'd like to learn more advanced animation techniques, I have created a video on how to create this exact animation, so link will pop up in the top right corner of the window. Alright, so let's continue. Tip number 4, photo background. So let me show you how you can create a full screen photo background that looks something like this. So first of all, we need to find a beautiful photo. I'm usually using unsplash.com, so I've already downloaded a nice photo to my computer, so let me just find that photo. Let's insert it into a slide, and sometimes your photo will not cover the whole slide, so let me show you how we can fix it. Just go to select your photo, go to crop options, choose aspect ratio of 16:9, because this is the aspect ratio of our slide. You can click on crop. You can as well click on the gray area and you can adjust the positioning. You can even click on those white handles at the size and increase the size of your photo. Now let's just put to the left top corner our photo and drag the bottom to fill the whole slide. And this is the way how you can create full screen slide photo background. And now you can create anything on top that you want. You can insert text boxes, insert icons, and the rest of the fun stuff. So let me quickly create a slide title for this slide. Alright, so here's our beautiful slide title, and now let's jump to the next step on how to improve your slides. So hack number 5, video background. So how can we create a video background and make our slides much more awesome? So as you can remember, we have created these nice looking animations, But in this case, we're using not a photo for our background, but a video. So let me show you how we can create a video background in PowerPoint. So one place to find awesome free videos is pexels.com. So let me insert a fresh blank new slide. I have already downloaded a video, so let's just go to Insert and let's find videos. Let me find that video and click Insert. And as you can see, the video has already the correct aspect ratio. It covers the whole slide. And let's make sure our video starts automatically. So let's check it out on the full screen. A little bit of lag. Let's try it out once again. Yes, and the video is playing. That's awesome. Alright, and if you feel that your video is too bright, you can insert a rectangle. Let's just draw a rectangle. Let's move it to the top left corner of the slide. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's drag it so that it covers the whole slide. We can change the color of this rectangle to black, no outline. And now in the Fill Transparency options, let's just go to Format Shape, Fill Transparency. And now you can make this video as dark or as bright as you want. So let's leave it like this. Now let's just copy the rest of the shapes and the text boxes. Let's hit Command or Control-C to copy and let's paste them right here. And now we should have our automatically playing video background. And now we have the animations as well. That's super duper awesome. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so let's continue to tip number 6, and that is image placeholders. Your photos can be placed inside custom shapes just like this, or like this, or even into something like this. Your photos don't have to be squares or circles. You can, let loose your creativity and create anything that you want. So let me show you how we can create this typography image placeholder. As you can see, this is just a text box with one letter C. And for the font, I'm using the Heaters font because it looks like it has been brushed. Now all we have to do is just insert a rectangle, send it to back. Now select both the rectangle and the letter C. You can hold down the Shift key to do that and choose Intersect. And this way we have converted our letter to a shape. We can change its color. So let's remove the outline and leave just the fill. We can increase the size of this letter just like that. Alright, and there are actually two ways how we can put a picture inside of this letter. One way is faster. We can just insert a photo, send it to back. Now select a photo, hold down the Shift key, select a letter. And once again in the Merge Shapes, let's choose Intersect. And this way we have placed the photo inside of the letter C. And in the crop options, you can adjust the positioning of your photo. That's awesome. But let's say you want to change this photo. You hit Delete and the letter is gone. So let me show you how we can create a more permanent solution. So let's undo a couple of steps until we get this shape. Now we just cut this shape, hit Command X or Control X to cut it. And now let's go to Slide Master View. And I'll show you how we can create this custom image placeholder. So let me just delete this letter C. We'll do it from the scratch. So let's paste our blue letter C. Now let's go to Insert Placeholders and choose Picture. And now let's just draw a picture placeholder so that it covers the whole letter C. Send it to back. Hold down the Shift key. Select letter C. And once again, in the Merge Shapes options, choose Intersect. This way we have created this custom image placeholder. Alright, and now all that's left to do is choose our newly created slide layout from the Layouts menu. Here we have the letter C. Click on this picture icon. And now we can choose any picture that we want. If we change our mind, we hit Delete and we choose another picture. So that's how easy it is to use custom image placeholders. By the way, if you would like to learn more about how to create these custom image placeholders, check out this video. Link will pop out at the top right corner of the window. Alright, now let's continue with tip number 7. That's the zoom, ladies and gentlemen. Zoom is a very awesome feature of PowerPoint. However, it's available in Office 365 and PowerPoint 2019. Zoom allows you to zoom into different slides of your PowerPoint presentation. So you basically have like a home page slide, and then you can zoom into different slides of your presentation. So that's really awesome non-linear experience for navigating your PowerPoint presentation. So I have created this video, Slide Zoom PowerPoint. Check it out if you'd like to learn in more detail about the zoom feature. But let me quickly show you how it's done. So basically you can go to Insert, Zoom, choose Slide Zoom. And here select any slide that you would like to zoom into. So for example, this one. So here's our little slide zoom. We can place it wherever we want on the home page slide. We can remove the background. We can increase the size of the slide zoom. And we can make sure that we return back to home page once we check out the slide. So here we zoom in into the slide. We click again and we come back. Alright, and this is how the zoom feature works, ladies and gentlemen. And now let's zoom in to tip number 8, and that is the Morph transition. Morph is as well really awesome feature, unfortunately only available in newer PowerPoint versions. And with the Morph transition, you can morph one photo into another photo. As you can see here, we have this cup with a forest, which morphs into the picture of a cat. So that's super duper awesome. So all you have to do for this effect to work, you have to make sure that you select Morph transition in the slide transitions. So if you have this Morph transition available in your PowerPoint version, then definitely I recommend you to experiment with it. And sometimes in the selection pane, you have to rename your shapes or your pictures so that this Morph transition works correctly. You have to use 2 exclamation marks and type in anything, for example, forest, and you have to use the same name in the next slide. So as you can see, here we have this cup forest, and we have forest here as well. So if you would like to learn more about the Morph transition and this double exposure effect, check out the video. And the next useful application of the Morph transition is that you can easily animate objects on your slide. So this is slide number 1, for example, and this is slide number 2, which was animated with the help of the Morph transition. Alright, so let me show you how we can use the Morph transition to animate any objects on the slide. So let me just delete this one. So let's say this is our first slide. Let's duplicate it. And now on the second slide, let's make sure that we choose the Morph transition. And now we can just resize and move the objects to different places, and the Morph transition will take care of the animation. So let me quickly do some adjustments and I'll meet you in a second. And here is the Morph transition in action. As you can see, all of the objects are being animated by the Morph transition. So that's really useful. For everyone who has older PowerPoint versions, and if you don't have the Morph transition, you could achieve a similar effect with the motion path animations. You can basically draw lines and tell PowerPoint where your shapes should move. To the left side, to the right side, and so on. So it's definitely possible to achieve similar effect, but it would require much more work and you would have to animate all objects individually. So Morph transition really helps out to speed up the process of animation. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now let's jump to tip number 9, which is all about colors. Colors are super important in slide design, and I would recommend to use a color palette, because colors and color palette work really well together. You could use websites such as colors.co. And another benefit of using color palettes is once you set all of your shapes, all of your text boxes to certain colors from the color palette, Later on, you can quickly change the look of your whole slide by changing the color palette. Let's just go to Colors and choose a different color palette. As you can see, instantly the colors of all of the shapes have changed. So that's super duper awesome. As you can see, now we have a different color palette and all of the objects have different colors. So let's try a color palette called green. And once again, we can instantly change the look of our slide. And by the way, if you'd like to learn more about creating custom color palettes, you can check out this video. Link will pop up at the top right corner of the window. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and now finally, tip number 10, icons. As you remember, we have created this beautiful video background with these awesome animations, and at the same time, it is a good example of using icons instead of bullet points. So whenever you have a chance to use icons instead of boring bullet points. And I will attach a couple of icons to tutorial slides, so feel free to use these icons. They're absolutely free. And you can check out websites such as flaticon.com. And as well, if you have newer PowerPoint versions, you can go to Insert and choose Icons. And here you can find some beautiful icons as well. So ladies and gentlemen, now you have learned all 10 hacks and tips on how to make your PowerPoint presentation super duper awesome. Skadoosh! So thank you for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you on my next video.